Recorded live in Austin, Texas, USA. It's the William Montgomery Show. Starring William Montgomery.
Really excited for our guest today, Gary Wimmer.
Good to be here with you guys.
He used to play in bands, self-taught piano player at 33. I'm actually 34, so that gives me a little hope. I don't know how to play an instrument, but it sounds like maybe I could.
Oh, you can learn. It's practice.
Just practice?
It is practice, like everything in life. Driving, golf, practice.
Fair
Think
enough.
The way you think, the way you live.
Yeah. No, I get it. Gary, you have written a book, A Second in Eternity, about a near-death experience. What happened?
Well, I'll give you the 30-second scenario summary.
Okay.
I've always been interested in psychic ability since way back in college when I started reading Edgar Cayce. In 1977, I quit a band. I was traveling a lot. And
What, Aerosmith?
it was Aerosmith. How did you know, man? My identity's revealed.
Right.
I was a very famous rock star. Not. However, I had a good time playing.
Nice.
And in 77, I took a break, and within 24 hours, life started changing. I started hearing my roommates' thoughts before they would speak.
Whoa.
My roommate, one would walk in with the newspaper, and I could read the titles through his eyes.
How old were you at this point?
I was 29.
How do you think that happened?
Well, it's a pretty long story. There's 250 pages in the book.
I saw it's a pretty big book, yeah.
So anyway, by the second, third day, this psychic ability that I knew I was psychic, I'd already started giving readings, but it came off unglued, unfiltered. By the second, third day, I couldn't imagine what normal life was like. I could look at a complete stranger and pick up everything about their life, and I know I was right. Because the things I was telling my roommates about the phone ringing next and the headlines in the paper, I'd sit at a restaurant, like you and I talking, and I'd glance at a pool game going on behind me, and when I did, the whole next 5 or 6 shots would play, and I'd come back to my friend and tell him exactly what they're going to do, and we'd both watch it, and it unfolded exactly the way I saw it.
Oh, my gosh.
This went on for a week.
Yeah.
I have never been so scared in my life. And so,
what were you thinking was going on? Like,
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I didn't have any idea, but I knew I didn't have a button to turn it off.
Mm-hmm. So it scared you a little.
It scared the hell out of me, but at the same time, I felt this incredible power like I've never felt before. So
I'm almost a little intimidated sitting next to you. I'm a little worried about what you're seeing about my ass. Oh my gosh!
Thank God.
Whoa.
I don't go that deep. Don't need to anymore.
Could you if you wanted to?
Probably not. No, that was a very...
How come you stopped using the power or something? Or
No, what happened is after a week of this, I freaked out my roommates, freaked out a lot of friends, myself, and I felt these guardian angels watching me. They called themselves the monitors, so I just thought of them as the monitors. Never saw them, but I could always feel them around me. And there's some strange things I did there that... I won't discuss. You got to read the book because they won't make sense out of context. Anyway, after a week of this, I had never been so terrified and felt so enlightened at the same time, but it was getting too intense. I couldn't handle it. I was pacing down Guadalupe Street across from UT, crying and scared and praying at the same time. And, of course, people are watching me, wondering what's going on.
Yeah.
And these guardian angels, these monitors appeared above me. Mm-hmm. Like a big light, and I looked around and nobody else could see him or at least acknowledge him, and I thought, how do you people I don't care. I looked up and they asked me if I trusted them. I said, yeah, but I don't understand what's going on. They said, do you trust us? Long story short, within seconds I was in a head-on collision with a speeding car. Bam.
What, you were in a car? I thought you were walking.
No, I was pacing down the street, and some things happened, and all of a sudden I was in the middle of the street and I got a head-on collision with a speeding car. A lot of details in there. You have to read the story. I can't sum it up in 10 seconds. But as soon as I hit the car, I was outside my body watching my body tumble over the car. I didn't feel it, anything. And all of a sudden
you hit the car or the car hit you?
Both. We collided
Yeah.
in the middle of the
Is the
street.
car going fast?
It was going very fast.
Did you just run out in front of the car?
Basically, yes, in a lot of ways. I ran out in the street because of a lot of things. Like I said, you'd have to read it to understand it.
Okay.
But all of a sudden, I'm outside my body, looking at my own body getting tumbled over by the car. And then the whole earth, I was going out like a balloon, the surface of a balloon, all directions at once, not like an arrow one way.
So if you're blowing a balloon up.
I felt like that. I felt like it was expanding, and the whole earth turned into a little circle, and I saw it from 360. North, South Pole. Oh, I never even thought about that.
Were you with the monitor? Were the monitors with you at this point?
They had launched me through this voyage to eternity, yes. I went through the planets. I saw these infinite universes. They formed a tunnel of light. They shot me through this tunnel of light. By this time, I had no idea who I was or Earth.
Sounds like when I smoked salvia one
I was just
time.
going to say, we
intense.
smoke DMT now to do that.
Oh, I have done a lot of psychedelics in my life.
Oh, have you?
I certainly have. I'm a musician. I went through the 60s. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll, the whole thing.
What we were talking about earlier, what do you prefer, mushrooms or LSD?
Mushrooms are more organic, but I did have a lot of experience with LSD.
We actually have some at the apartment if you ever want to do so.
No, I've had my days with it.
Yeah.
But
Also, do you have COVID or is that a smoker's cough?
it's a little bit of a smoker's cough.
Okay.
I do smoke pot a little bit.
Oh, nice.
But I went through this tunnel of light and end up in infinite mind. And that's the most amazing thing I've ever experienced, because infinite mind is what they call God. It's not biased. Mm-hmm. It had no beginning and no end. It's infinite creativity. There are infinite universes. Everything manifests. We just happen to be in one particular universe where only this stuff manifests.
Right.
But infinite mind creates everything. And I still had no idea who I was or what. But I went from being part of this infinite mind to observing it. Okay. And all of a sudden I was pulled back by a term I use called spiritual gravity. Okay. I had no idea where I was being pulled back to, but I knew where I was and I loved it. Moments later in Earth time, I was coming back into the solar system, coming back near Austin, saw my body, and all of a sudden it made sense. I'm a human being. That's my body. I jumped in. And
Did you have to go to the hospital or something?
Well,
I
jumped into my body, and the driver was over screaming and terrified and hollering, and pedestrians are, and people are directing the traffic around. I just been to heaven. This didn't bother me at all. Excuse me, hit the microphone there. I jumped to my feet and started talking to people, asking if they saw these monitors. Oh, that didn't look.
What are people thinking? Who's this crazy guy?
Cops, ambulance, police.
Crazy.
Oh, it. Of course, I would think the same thing.
Right. Oh my God.
They couldn't keep me at the hospital. I wasn't hurt. They couldn't let me go because of what I was talking about infinite mind and all this stuff. And so they took me to jail and got a protective order of custody to put me in a psychiatric hospital. I didn't care. I wouldn't. They could put me anywhere. Man, I just been to heaven. Nothing could, and I've never been so inspired, enlightened since that day. Now I go through a lot of changes and trials just like everybody.
Right.
But the main thing I wanted to mention about that experience is when I was coming back into my body, I saw the next 100 years on this planet. I saw 9/11. I did not know what it was.
What did you see? The planes crashing into the building?
I saw a plane going through a building and a bunch of people in blue uniforms. And in
what are those, police officers?
No, in 2001, I was playing on a cruise ship coming into Sweden, and I'm a musician. And a Swedish guy said, "I think you just had a terrorist attack in New York." I ran down to the crew room, looked at the TV. The second plane went through, and I saw this picture 24 years ago. I saw COVID, but I didn't know what it was.
How did you see COVID?
I saw the whole Earth in almost like a cartoon, an ink spot going over it, kind of covering it. I didn't know what that was till about a year and a half ago, and I went, "It's COVID."
Wait, what do you mean the ink spot, or what was that like?
Oh, it looked like a big ink spot covering the whole Earth.
So that was like COVID. Did you get vaccinated?
Pardon me?
Did you get vaccinated?
Oh, yeah. I'm vaccinated, yeah.
Yeah, me too. I got vaccinated.
I mean, I believe in science. I believe in facts,
Totally. Do you believe in God?
Absolutely. I believe in infinite mind, infinite God.
Because you were in heaven.
There's not a molecule or a thought or a quark or a subatomic particle that is not part of God. God is everything. But
Right.
human beings have free will, and we can be stupid, selfish idiots.
Yep.
Don't blame it on God. Blame it on humans' free will. We took that ball and ran with it,
Yep.
and here's what we got.
And here we are.
But I'm very inspired, even though we're going through this world revolution now, and we are. The whole world. COVID-19 is not an accident.
What do you think? How did that
It's
start?
higher mind coming to nature, through nature, coming to man, saying, wake up, people. What's important?
You think people have woken up?
I think they're having to think of things differently than they did a year and a half, 2 years. It's affected the whole planet.
Yep.
There are there's just no such thing as accidents. There's no such thing as coincidences.
Look at him. He put the COVID thing on
Everything
the
is
screen.
cause and effect.
This is a COVID molecule. Yeah, when you said the thing, the ink spot on the Earth, I was thinking you saw like the COVID thing.
No, I actually
The
saw
little
the
spikes
Earth
on
in this, but I didn't understand it till about a year and a half ago, and I started seeing this image.
God, what else have you seen that hadn't happened yet? What else is going to
Well,
happen?
a lot of east and west coast, the land's going to change. I don't think this is next week. I think it's in the next 50 years.
Like global
34
warming
years.
stuff?
Yeah. It's going to be a massive effect. Florida and parts of New York and parts of California are just going to go into the sea if the sea keeps rising. Now, we could maybe change it, but we ain't moving that direction.
Right.
So we've already kind of tipped the wheel, what do you say, tip the card? Or is that the expression?
We've tipped the card already.
Yeah, in the wrong direction. We can turn it around and change it,
Yeah.
but we got to really get on top of it. I'm an optimist.
Cool.
We're going through a whole world revolution. It involves everybody. Everybody feels it, whether you can, put a finger on it or what it is or not. It's a world revolution.
Do you have weapons?
Pardon me?
Do you have weapons? Are you getting ready for a revolution?
No, not a violent revolution. I mean, there's going to be idiots with guns. Look at January 6th. Look at countries. Look at people.
What happened January 6th?
Well, the insurrection.
Oh.
Weren't you at Cooper's barbecue?
Yeah, I was eating at Cooper's barbecue that day.
Oh, really?
Have you ever been to Cooper's?
No.
Are you a barbecue fan?
Yeah, I don't eat as much meat as I very
What'd
much
you
meat
eat for
anymore.
breakfast today?
Fruit and yogurt, actually.
Oh, nice.
That's kinda what I
Nice.
eat.
What kind of fruit?
Blueberries and strawberries.
Yum.
And yogurt, coffee. That's my addiction in the morning.
Cool. That sounds like a good breakfast.
But I thought he was going to say something. But that was the most incredible experience of my life. I feel like one of the luckiest people on the planet.
Yeah, it's lucky you didn't. You're lucky you didn't die. It sounds.
Oh,
like.
I should have been killed, but I didn't get hurt.
Were your roommates pissed off, wondering how they're going to pay the rent? Were you helping pay the rent? When
Well,
did you go back to your
To
place?
some degree, our rent was so cheap then. We all lived in a pretty cheap little spot.
And it was here in Austin.
It was on West Lynn, actually, down by in Clarksville area.
So, do you like it here in Austin?
I moved here in 1970. It was I got out of college in 70, Texas Tech, electrical engineering. It was all defense work. I was a war protester. No way I'm going to serve in the defense industry.
No, really.
So I worked as a conscientious objector at the Austin State School here for 2 years. And then got out, and everybody I know is doing, still sex, drugs, and rock and roll. So I didn't want to go get an office job. I wanted to play music. I wanted to travel.
Just cool. You're on a cruise ship in Europe.
Oh,
How are those shows going? Good.
I love the cruise ships. Yeah.
Did you ever have sex with anybody on the cruise ship?
Well, my girlfriend when she'd visit me.
Nice.
But yeah, I enjoyed playing the cruise ships. Great food, great scenery. They
I'm
really
sure.
like you.
Just a vast ocean.
It's
I've never
so-
been on a cruise. I'd like to go on a cruise.
Yeah, they're fun. They are fun, especially if you're not having to pay for it and they're paying you.
I know.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
4 o'clock in the morning, go down to the crew room. They got the best food in the world there.
That sounds great. Well, it sounds like you should have started doing like sports betting stuff if you were calling the
Well, you want to
what
know
was going
something?
on in pool.
I'll tell you the
You
truth.
should have started making some gambling or something.
10 years ago, I was flipping around on the Sunday morning shows. There's nothing but football. And I don't care about football.
Yeah.
But I thought, excuse me, I thought, I'm going to see what the score is going to be. And so I wrote down what I thought the score was going to be at the end of the game. I was right.
Really?
And now sometimes I watch football with the sound off just to practice who's going to take the ball? Where are they going to go? And I get about 80% right.
What?
And I have.
Well, we need to
I was
start
gonna
gambling.
say, is this
I'm
your
not
new
gonna
college football buddy?
Yeah, I'm a big
Yeah.
college football fan. Maybe we should start watching some games.
My brother, my roommate, many people said, "Man, let's gamble on this." No, because that'll blow it.
Oh, do you think so?
Oh yeah, because the only
How
reason,
come?
because I do it to practice developing my psychic ability as a practice, not to try to make people money.
Mm-hmm.
And
What if you just let William do the betting?
Yeah, what if I only do the betting?
can't fool the universe?
Okay, I agree.
You know?
I totally hear you. I know. I don't know if I would do that either if I had the abilities, but I don't. So, how old were you when you realized you had the psychic abilities? Were you a little boy?
Actually, when I was a little kid, I had 6 brothers. I had 2 brothers born December 8th, 45 and 46, exactly a year apart. They're just like each other, double and triple Sagittarius. I was
Double
born,
and triple Sagittarius.
Yeah, I was born November 8th, the following 11 months. There's 3 of us in 3 years, and I watched the 2 of them kind of fight and struggle. So at a young age, I realized I could see stuff was going to happen before it was going to happen. I can't.
What
help it.
happened to them?
Oh, there's one passed away a couple years ago, and one still lives here in Austin.
Is he doing all right?
Yeah, he's actually the.
Are y'all friends?
Oh yeah, we're
Cool.
all. We're all. I got 6 brothers. We're all friends. We're very different.
Are you?
Oh yeah.
What do
we're
they
very
think about you being a psychic? Are they like, oh, our crazy brother? Or do
In a
they-
way, I've always been the strange one. I was always the musician. I was the eccentric. I was the radical.
Yeah.
It was the first person to. Me and my older brother, the only 2 to ever get into the drug culture at all, out of 7 boys. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but it's a fact.
Did you ever do cocaine?
Oh, I did cocaine. Yeah, but went back in the 70s or so. But
Did you have fun doing it?
a little bit. I mean, it's a fun drug, but it screws you up.
Yeah, I had a cocaine problem.
You're not
I
the only
stopped
one,
doing
man.
it,
Many
yeah.
people have. I didn't because I went. Now I had an alcohol problem when I was in high school. I was very depressed in high school,
Yeah.
and I
You
used
still
to,
drink now?
no. But here's why.
Wow.
At 17, my girlfriend broke up with me, and I took another girl to the prom, and really wanted to be with my girlfriend, and
Yeah.
wasn't. So I got so drunk, I ended up in a critical condition in the hospital.
For what?
Blood
Just-
poisoning, alcohol poisoning.
Oh wow.
Ugh.
I was in a coma for 5 or 6 days. I was dreaming of drinking the whole ocean, dreaming
Oh
of
my
going under a
gosh.
waterfall with my mouth open.
So you were thirsty.
I was very thirsty and
I've woken up
extremely drunk.
hungover before, and I'm like, oh my god, I've had dreams where I'm drinking.
Cotton
Oh
mouth.
yeah, that's the
Yeah.
last time I've been drunk in my life at 17.
Oh well, that's
Wow.
good. That's good.
Never
You
again.
stopped after that.
I went. I got the point. I
Yeah,
got the
right.
point. Very
Right.
clearly. So yeah,
Damn.
I can drink a glass of wine and not a second one, or a drink and not a second one. You know.
That's good. I couldn't stop. I kept drinking.
Oh, I know. A lot of people have a problem with addiction. I'm, had my own more psychological addiction to things probably than chemical,
Like what? Like what?
Curiosity. I always see things, especially in the last 20, 30 years, I always see things in terms of what the universe is talking about, showing us,
Mm-hmm.
I can certainly enjoy mundaneness, but my mind doesn't stay there too long. It's
Right.
just the way I am.
So do you go to church?
Yeah, well, no, churches in here.
Yeah.
You want to see God? Look at nature.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't disagree with that.
So, yeah, I don't go to church. I would like to be able to talk sometimes to the church leaders because I think their intentions are good, but they're pretty limited on their concept of God. God doesn't
Do you
want
think-
anything. God's infinite. Man wants. Don't say God wants this. No, God doesn't. You want. Or
Yeah.
you want other people to believe God wants it.
Yeah.
God's infinite. What could you possibly want? You don't. Humans want.
And I'm ready to sign up right now.
Yeah.
Gary's got me convinced.
Oh,
Yeah.
the free will of our souls. It's not any accident. You are who you are, and so forth. It's by choice. We chose before we came here. The family, the time, the place. There are no accidents.
So So if you do when I was born and everything, astrology stuff, is that real?
Yeah, astrology is just as real
I'm
as
an Aquarius.
everything.
What does that mean?
Free-minded, like to break the rules, spontaneous, forward-thinking.
Very forward thinking.
Aquariuses can take an A and a Z and completely unrelated and put them together and make sense out of it.
You hear that, Erica?
I heard it.
That's exactly your style of comedy, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Not even joking.
Yeah.
That's in
That is
general.
exactly your style of comedy.
Yeah, the way Aquarian minds work like that way, you know.
Interesting.
In fact, Scorpios always have a little. I'm a Scorpio.
Okay.
Very intense, very get to the bottom of things. And Aquarian minds and Scorpio minds work pretty polar opposite.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because y'all are so freeform and flighty, and we're so precise, we want to nail it down. So it's like,
Well, maybe that's why we're going to be good friends.
probably so, man.
Could be.
Oh, I've had a lot of great Aquarian friends.
Oh, really? So it's almost your birthday. You said November 8th?
November 8th, And you're in February?
January.
January what day?
January 26th.
Okay, you're just kind of into Aquarius.
Wayne Gretzky's birthday.
Yeah, you've got a certain amount of Capricorn in you, too.
What does Capricorn mean?
It's right before that. Capricorn's the earth sign.
Oh, I thought you said candy corn.
No.
And I was going to
Mostly
agree with
candy
you.
Close.
Yeah, I'm a lot of candy corn. Do you like candy corn?
I like you. I like candy corn. The two to go together, man.
Oh, nice. Cool.
In fact, he looks like one of those little candy
He
corn.
does.
Okay, what does that mean? Oh, my gosh.
That's a compliment. I like candy corn.
Gary, you're going to do a reading for William here today, and you've got a pretty interesting way to do this. I've never seen anything like this. Can you explain what
Yeah, I learned. I started doing psychic readings way back in the early '70s, mostly with a regular deck of playing cards, because I just seemed to develop my own system, I guess.
Yeah, because normally it's like tarot cards, right?
Yeah.
It's not normally deck of cards, right?
I use a deck of cards. There's so many people read tarot cards, and so many people do palmistry. When I got a reading from a lady in 1980, she did a reading of this, and I'd never seen it. And I said, will you teach me your method? And she said, well, pretty much just intuitive. And she gave me about a 10, 15-minute lesson.
What's this called?
It's called lithomancy. That's Lithomancy. And if people go to lithomancy.com, they'll find all about me, all about these readings.
Oh, my gosh. Did you get lithomancy.com?
I finally got lithomancy.com.
Oh, nice.
I actually had to buy it from a guy a couple of years ago. There's a band called Lithomancy, I think. It's
Oh, the band had it.
yeah.
Or,
And the guy made me a good deal. I said, look, I'm a psychic. It's what I do. It's my art, lithomancy, and made me a good deal on this website. He wanted many thousand for it, but he came down considerably.
oh, nice.
I gave him a reading over the phone and recorded it. He went, wow, man, that's pretty good. Okay, I'll make you a deal. So
Well, I'm a little worried. What if you find out some bad stuff or something?
I always see the good stuff, man.
So what is it? Do you go into the past or the future or
What
the
I
present?
do, there's 16 stones here, and 10 of them are based on astrology: Sun, Moon, Venus, Mars, Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto. Did I miss one? And then the other 6 stones are life, love, luck, commitment, timing, and place.
Okay.
And what you do is you charge them up in your hand, and you drop them, say about this high. You don't want to drop them real low; they'll be in one pile. If you go
Right.
too high, they'll go all over.
Yep.
So you drop them about this height, and I put this little crossroads. This is 6 o'clock, pointing toward you.
Okay.
I start reading in the center. I read up to the top, which is 12 o'clock, the start of this week, and then around for 12 weeks. And that's basically how it works.
Interesting.
So William's got to take the
Yeah.
stones?
You
Yeah,
want
how
to
do
do
we
this,
do it?
William?
Let's do it. I hope my parents don't watch this. My mom, I think it would scare my mom.
Nah, doesn't have
It's
to.
not devilish, is it?
Well, no.
Yeah. I didn't think so. I just Francis would say, "Oh, that's works of the devil."
Well, the devil is.
Do you believe in the devil?
I believe in infinite mind, infinite God. If someone wants to throw a devil, fine, that's their business. I'm not going to go spend my time concentrating on a damn devil. Why?
Right. It seems like concentrating on the devil's a bad deal.
Yeah, why waste your
Right.
time on something that's going to project evil? Just jump on it.
Totally.
Well, who needs it?
Or some psychic
Who
people.
needs it?
I hear you. I don't need it.
If people need a devil, go to town. I don't need a devil.
Go to town if you want the devil.
So charge these up in your hand,
Okay.
and when you're ready, oops,
Oop.
drop one stone here.
Yeah.
You see it?
Oh, it's on my little
There it
notebook. Okay.
Oh, that might mean something.
It does
Ooh,
mean
yeah.
something.
That might mean
Does
something
it
right
really?
there.
Yeah, and I'll explain to you. So drop them from about this height. You want to drop in one little pile. You don't want to drop them way up.
Okay.
Here. So about in here somewhere, and charge them up for a second and drop. And I'm going to give you about a 5 or 10 minute reading, kind of quick.
Okay.
But it'll make sense to you.
And also, I haven't cut my fingernails in a while, so don't judge me on my weird length of fingernails.
Folks, please notice his fingernails.
Okay, let me know how long to charge.
Whatever feels good for you, man.
Okay.
Over the phone, I hold it in my hand, and I have the person say drop.
Oh, really?
And it's
Does that work the same?
Yeah, it works the same to me. But sometimes I have to tell people, so it's not going to get any better. Just go ahead and say drop. It's okay.
Okay, from like here?
Yeah, it'll work. There you go. All right.
What is the one that went out of the circle?
Oh, man.
Well, are you ready? I'm going to explain this to you.
Okay.
Now, I want you, first of all, to notice this strong triangle. Do you see that triangle?
Yeah, I see a triangle. Yes.
Triangles are like third eye. They're like pyramids.
Okay.
They're like the number 3. They're like the Trinity in Catholic Church.
Yep.
3's in art, music, physics. 3's very important.
Okay.
When I see a triangle, and I do see a lot of triangles nowadays in people's readings.
Do you?
Yeah, because we're all being encouraged or forced to grow spiritually and mentally. That's why
Okay.
COVID-19.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's one of the. So you have a strong pyramid here, and what it's the stones that represent by the pyramid, the vertices have a lot to do with what's going on.
Okay.
At the top of this pyramid, 12 o'clock, you have Mercury. It's a green stone. You have the commitment stone, and you have Pluto, which is a lot of recovery, healing.
I stopped drinking 5 months ago.
It's a lot of healing. And Mercury is decisions, techniques, minds. So you've made your decision to heal. The commitment stone up at the top is saying you're making a commitment to it, and you're making more of a commitment to it. Now, a while ago...
He didn't do cocaine this weekend when he was in the green room at the comedy club right in front of him.
Correct.
He passed.
I passed on it.
That's
commitment.
When the sunstone is the one that slipped out, we put it back in. It landed right here. It slipped out of my hand. It kind of meant you feel in a way you've kind of lost some power and you want to bring it back into play. And that's what's happening here. In this first week or two, the sun is next to Uranus. You're going through a lot of change right now.
Okay.
Uranus is absolute change. But change is often life's only way of telling us what we need to learn next.
Okay.
If you never went through some change or some unpredictable, you'd be just dumber than a rock.
Yep.
Right in the center is a place stone having to do with your environment and Neptune. Neptune is like new plans, new dreams. It can be your career, your writing, your creativity, that sort of thing. And notice you got Uranus, Saturn, which is learning, Neptune here, and Pluto. These are the 3 spiritual stones, Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune. They're all close to each other. They're right near the power stone here. If you look at this small triangle between Pluto and the center here, which has to do with spirituality because of Neptune, and the sun, that's also a triangle.
What does that mean?
That means you're developing a lot of intuitive spirituality sense. You may not be conscious of it, but you will become more conscious of it. You're starting to think outside the box more, both spiritually and as far as healing and as far as what you want your career to be. A lot of reorganization, replanning. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
And if you wouldn't be going through this, you'd be stale and you know it.
Right.
So this is like a whole new thinking outside the box that's over the next week or two, that the more you accomplish, the more you feel...
Wait, what about the next week or two?
I said over the next week or two, this commitment to healing, growing, evolving, new techniques, this, in a way, even unknown commitment you're making to growth, because the whatever you're healing from is opening new doors for you elsewhere too, not just in what you're healing about, but it's opening up new new possibilities in your higher mind. You got to practice everything. If you really want to grow with higher mind, or driving, or baseball, or sex, you got to practice.
Well, I wish I could practice the
Well,
sex
you
part.
can start.
That's my girlfriend over there.
Oh, really? Okay.
He's kidding.
Aquarians already think outside the box. Do it even more so. Do you understand what I'm saying?
You heard that, Erica.
I heard,
did you hear that?
I heard.
Gary said anal. You gotta do it. It's in the stones.
It's in the stones.
So this triangle is saying a lot of growth And we go through growth spiritually and psychically and mentally and emotionally, not to get a better seat in heaven, but to make better things work here now in this life, to make better decisions. So this can be a very practical next couple weeks, of you make continuous commitment to heal and grow, but fill in with new techniques. If you're displacing this, bring something good in to take its place. Do you understand?
I hear you.
Creativity.
That's like when you quit drinking and started eating raisin bread.
Yeah, started. Do you
Is
like
that
raisin bread?
I can't eat a whole lot of bread, but I do like,
A little butter on it.
I like a lot of food, but I'm on a low carb diet, so I have to kind of watch some of it.
Okay.
So by the second and third week, do you have a relationship right now?
There's my girl. Talking about like.
Are you serious?
Yeah, this is my girlfriend. Yeah.
Well, the reason I'm asking is this is the moonstone emotionally, this is the love stone, and this is you. I think y'all are going through a lot of lining things up again, fixing things up, reestablishing, getting on a new track. You with me?
Yeah, we're new to Austin.
Okay, well, if you didn't go through some newness and some changes and some curveballs, we'd be dumber than a rock.
Right. Yeah.
Change and surprise is good. You're going through some of it now, but it's also, you've got Jupiter right here, and Jupiter's great expansion. It's pointing to the place stone. Y'all just moved here?
5 months ago. Or
May.
something.
Well, it still feels like it's new to
It's
y'all.
new.
Yeah.
And that's why the place stone is right in the center. And next to it is Neptune, which is new plans and new dreams. Saturn is next to that, which is saying how you organize things to get these new plans and new dreams into play.
Yeah.
Uranus next to that is saying, do it real creatively.
Okay.
You know? Don't be afraid to take big jumps, big dives. You're set up for that now. By the third and fourth week here, it feels like both emotionally and with your own passion reignited, creativity-wise, you're starting to see more long-term where you can go. Do you understand?
Yes.
You with me on this? By the 6th and 7th and 8th week here, this is the luck stone. This is Venus, balance, harmony, relationships. This is the magic stone, pointing back to the place
What's the
stone.
magic stone saying?
Magic stone saying timing and the T's are crossed, timing's right, everything's getting lined up good.
That's what that means.
Well, it's pointing back to your environment and your plans. You're coming here. Change was good. The new ideas you have are good. You're starting to learn how to put them into play. We don't organize something instantaneously. Everything takes time,
Yes.
especially if you want to do it right.
Yep.
You know, but you're on a good movement cycle, especially considering you're dealing with a lot of your issues and to clear them out, get them out of the way. Good.
Yeah.
So you can be jumping by leaps and bounds instead of by inches.
Mm-hmm.
You with me?
Yeah.
By the 5th and 6th and 7th week here, you've got this harmony in your life, this balance that not only with relationships, but with yourself. Because this is the life stone here. Outside
So
the
what does
circle.
that mean if the light stone's out of the
no.
circle?
Well, it means
Everything was going great.
Yeah.
No, it means-
Life stone.
Oh,
it
gosh.
actually means on the long term you're getting your life more organized because of what you're learning. You got a lot of good luck in here, man. You got a lot of good
Is that what
change.
that means, really?
Yeah.
Or can you just say all this stuff to anybody, however the rocks fall?
Well, that's what I feel, and I bet you could call me back in a month or two and say, "Wow, that made sense."
Yeah,
It
no,
may
I'm
not-
kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I
I'm
know,
Just,
I know. It may not make sense immediately, but you know that this healing you're going through in this constructive phase and this reorganization and planning is very healthy for you. And you know
Yes.
it's also necessary.
Yes,
So,
I agree
so
with
it's
that
two
for
win-wins there. Don't shortchange yourself.
Sure. Okay.
Life will throw us a bunch of curveballs and a bunch of crap. You don't have to go look for it.
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe you.
Go
I've
look.
looked
Go look
it
for the
a
light at the
while.
end of the tunnel. Go
Yeah.
look. Go look for power. Go look for love. Go look for great things. We don't have to go look for crap. We'll get it.
Yes. Yes. I
Don't even
believe
have to
you.
order it. It's a la carte.
Yes.
So by the 8th and 9th and 10th week here, this magic stone is saying, hey, you pretty well got everything lined up to a fresh new phase of your lives, and it's good. That's why the life stone is out here in the circle saying the right side, the left side of this pyramid is saying, yeah, your life can move forward much like you planned because you're making the corrections, because you're adapting stability on one side and a lot of fresh fresh approaches to everything, writing including, you know, the way you think, the way you present yourself, the way you, and other new ways to do it.
Yep.
You know, whether it's a stage or a movie or a book or a podcast, you know.
Right.
So, but as you come back to the end of this 3-month period, you're going to realize how much you have proactively healed yourself and come out ahead, and it hasn't been near as much work healing as it has been a joy, because you're getting rid of a bunch of crap you don't need. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. So what, is there a way that the rock's going to fall on where it would have been a bad reading? Or you said it's always generally positive?
I don't consider it my responsibility to remind everybody that life can throw a bunch of crap at you.
Yeah. Right. No, I hear you.
I think
Well, your life stone went out of the circle, dude.
Yeah, I was wondering what that meant.
No point in even reading the rest of them.
Yeah.
You're finished.
You're
that
doomed,
seems
buddy.
bad.
First week. No, here's the reason. You can't change anything up to this second.
Right.
You definitely cannot change other people.
Right.
You can't. There's 10 billion things you can't change, correct?
Yes, I agree.
The most powerful use of free will is about what you can change. And the most important thing we can always change, regardless of our situation, regardless of what we went through, is perception.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see it? Is the world screwing you over, or are you getting some new insight? It's almost like you get to decide which one you're going to interpret.
Yeah.
And you might as well take the inside. If you like lead on your back, take the crap. See the worst case scenario.
Right.
I don't want to tell people the worst case scenario, because I don't want them to start thinking about and heading toward it. If they're going to get crap.
Yeah, I don't want to hear the bad.
Hypochondriac, worrywart.
And you know, I find a lot of times just by suggesting to people, or it's not a suggestion, it's a fact, that they have the free will right now to start changing. Because you can't change the past, can't change other people. You can change the way you look at it. And once you do, your whole life can take off differently. And just suggesting that to people brings about stuff because they never thought of it.
Yeah.
They never thought of, wow, I got that much free will. Hell yeah, you do.
Yep.
Free will is the most important thing in life. And its most highest value is how you look at things today, now. Not yesterday, not tomorrow. Perspective, right here, right now.
Sounds like this podcast is going to be a hit.
Yeah, right.
I related a lot of that to the podcast. I'm not even kidding. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
No, I mean, a lot of what you said seemed accurate.
Great.
Changes happening.
Big changes happening.
Being
but for the betterment.
organized, making decisions.
Yeah.
So that's
Cool,
kind of how I
that was
read.
Interesting.
And,
That was fantastic.
Yeah,
That was really
That was
good.
very interesting, for sure.
good. And, you know, people ask me sometimes, like you said, you know, how come you're so positive all the time? Because that's what I'm trying to do. Do you want me to tell you how screwed your life is?
No.
You already know that.
Yeah, people already know
You
that.
know that. You know?
That's right.
I'm trying to tell you how to unscrew it, because I've been there too.
Yeah.
Oh, I've gone through so much anxiety and depression and being broke and heartbroken and out of place, out of time. You know.
Are you generally doing better now?
I've always done well. I've just
Yeah.
been through a lot of damn curveballs, but thank God for my near-death experience in '77. It showed me without a doubt we're connected to infinite mind. And if we keep practicing getting into that, all our troubles go away. I still went through anxiety and depression, but less and less so, and more empowerment.
So you think your life would have been totally different if that car didn't hit you?
If I had not had that near-death experience, I have no idea, but I had it
I wonder what you'd be doing
44
right now.
years ago, before anybody even talked about near-death experiences. I knew what happened, and this is an interesting point.
What?
I knew what happened. There's no doubt. I didn't care if anybody believed me. I really didn't, you know.
Yeah.
But I knew what happened. What I didn't know is why.
Mm-hmm.
Why me?
Yeah, why
did I-
was it you?
After 6 or 7 months, 8 months after the incident, every day I was wondering, why me? I mean, no complaints. Thank you. But what did I do to deserve this, you know?
Yeah.
The monitors, the guardian angels, came once again. I couldn't see them this time, but they shot this information in my head, and I heard them speak at the same time, I saw this like the trailers of a movie,
Yeah.
and it basically said at the same time they were speaking, this happened because of your curiosity. You wanted to know. You've always asked. You were ready. You could handle it. Kind of like
Yeah,
Jack.
I feel like you have to be open to stuff. Do you believe in ghosts?
I believe in everything.
Me too. Erica doesn't believe in ghosts.
I believe in everything.
I'm with you, Erica.
Yeah, they don't
First-
believe in ghosts.
There's
First
too
of
many
all-
dead people. I've never seen one.
I don't believe the Earth is square, but if you believe the Earth is square, I have to believe that. Well, someone believes it's square.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Fair enough.
We're gonna take a vote.
Yeah. Yeah, how are we
We're gonna
taking
put a
this
poll.
vote?
Put a poll up.
Hey, Gary, where can people find more information about you and what you do? If they want to get a hold of you and have a reading done.
Yeah.
The best way to do it is to you can either email me GW@GaryWimmer.com, GW@GaryWimmer.com. If you can't remember that, go to lithomancy.
Yeah, the website.
Yeah,
right,
the website. lithomancy.com. Lithomancy. Litho means stone, and mancy means divination by, like lithograph or
Right?
something.
Okay.
So lithomancy.com, or you can Google Gary Wimmer, just GaryWimmer, and you'll find my contact information.
Fantastic. That was great.
Cool, yeah.
Thanks for coming
Love
in,
it.
man.
Oh, it's a
Very
pleasure being with you
insightful.
folks.
That was
And was
fantastic.
crazy comedian too. I've been there, man. I've been crazy. I appreciate that state of mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was in a crazy state of mind for a long time, but now I'm like, yeah,
Now you're putting it to use.
I'm trying.
That's
That's
good.
because Uranus is close to the sun.
Yeah.
You got it. That's what it is.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for being here. That
I
was
thank
a
you
lot
guys
of
for the
fun.
opportunity. Check out my book, A Second in Eternity. And
I will.
To those of y'all listening, check out A Second in Eternity. It's a very interesting, true story about my NDE. I speak at a lot of these NDE conventions, IANDS conventions, International Association of Near-Death Studies.
Oh, wow.
And I do a fair amount of interviews. So if you Google Gary Wimmer, you can probably find a lot of information about me, including how to get in touch with me.
That's great.
Cool.
And thanks, everybody, for being out there and watching and listening to the podcast. This episode of The William Montgomery Show was recorded at Permanent Record Studios right here in the heart of Austin.